Nash, Quick and Hill. Welcome back to the channel. And this Ferguson 20 diesel has arrived yesterday evening for a few jobs. Quick look over, general tidy up, brakes, steering, all that thing. I think it's definitely 1954, 5 or 6 because it doesn't have the lift pump, but it's blanked off. So if it even has that, it means it's the later version of the engine with the cast iron main bearing carriers and all that. So the date should be in here. 54, and we have 25th to the 11th, so upside down, sometimes they are. And then what do we have there? 3/12/4, so the 3rd of December 54. I can't actually read the date beside 18/6/54. Usually they're not as spread out, you know, usually there's only a couple of weeks between them, so it might have had a different engine at some point. So this is going to be with me for the next while to make a couple of job in of air, and we're just going to go through certain few things that the owner said. The throttle and all is a bit, the linkages are all a bit so and so, a little bit unresponsive, a little bit unpredictable. So I have all the throttle linkages here anyway, so if needs be, we have a nice Venturi there that I've overhauled. We have the cross shaft there for the throttle. We even have the bit onto the diesel pump there as well if we need. And I have another bit of throttle rod there for literally just for reference, to make a long one if I have to. The long one from the throttle rod to this lad there, and we've another one of them spare as well if need to be. So I've all of them working, as in the springs in there are working, they're not seized. And so we will be able to work with what we have. So that is it. It runs well, it's just hard to start. So it has a later starter on it from a different tractor. It's converted to a key ignition. They used the Kai gas for that. A fairly nice job actually, if I may say so. So it has the pre-engaged solenoid there. Don't worry about all this. It was brought on the back of a small recovery, and it was raining, and when I started up I just threw that bit of soot out just because it was wet. A few little stray wires here and there, we'll have to go tidying all them up. There's a few little modifications made like this to hold on the brakes. You can get the kit to fit that, like I did on the, I think I have a video of it on Ferguson 20 there, that kit there. Put the forward spring holes in, get back. Nice little touch that. I think I have a spare one of them there somewhere, so we'll be able to fit that if we have to. I can also fit, I've new primer pumps if the owner wants me to fit those as well. We can do that, there's no problem at all. And so I'm looking forward to getting stuck into it. The steering, there's a few things there that would worry me straight away. So the Woodruff key is probably fairly worn in this because it was moving up and down a lot, so I'll have to take that off fairly quickly on one of the first jobs and just see what's happening there, because I don't like the look of that, and I think the threads are fairly bad in under there, so might have to do a little job on that, but that's no biggie. Few wheel studs are broke off. I have loads of new ones there. If the owner wants me to drill them out, tap them out, tap in new ones. We have another one broken off there. This one there needs a nut, that's no problem. I'll ask him, does he want us to keep them on, or will I take them off and replace them with nuts? We've got 2 nuts missing on that. I haven't even checked for wheel bearings are bad. You can actually hear it from that side, so an adjustment on those at the very least. Worst case scenario, we'll need new wheel bearings. Side's not as bad. And we're missing 2 wheel nuts there. No bracket on the end of that. It's going to be fairly hard to get that off, I'd say. But I do have a spare one if the owner wants me to fit it. And I have all of them freed off, so I'll be able to put the bracket on, and that'll tidy this in by pushing it in there a bit. No jubblies there, no jubbly around there. We'll tidy all that up. Might put a period correct one on that if I have. I think I should have one there. Let that sit a bit lower to get it underneath there. If he wants me to replace the manifold, I will. It's a bit loose around here and worn anyway. This brake knuckle here is completely seized, I think, yeah. So your independent brakes, this should turn in there. Usually an oil light bushing, I think it's called, in those, even those are kind of a grease nipple on it. So I have a feeling that'll have to come out. The bushing in there doesn't feel too bad. If it was bad, you'd feel it jumping all over the place. He said there's some problem with this lever. Shouldn't be doing that. So he's left a new lever there, so I'll be able to fit that and adjust it. This side here, the brakes again are completely solid. It's not turning, and if you look in there at the amount of movement, I'll try and keep the camera still. Bushing's gone, very cheap to fix that, very easy to fix it. We've loose here, so what that's doing is it's allowing your axle to shift. Okay, so that's a matter of tightening it up. Years ago they used to put a laughing in with halfpenny and tighten it up, and that used to take it out. One thing I always find funny about on the Ferguson 20 diesels is your pull to stop has C on it for choke, and that was actually for the petrol and TVO models because there's no choke on a diesel, but they seem to just keep using them for the diesel. Maybe C was for cut out or something, I'm not sure. How's the free play in the PTO lever there? It's bad, so I have a tighter one of them there. You can see it rocking there, so that's probably starting. That will very soon start to leak oil. He said there's a lot of wear in this. That's a fairly big job. Put the bushings in there. So we'll get a look. Christ. Yeah, that's not great. See it rocking there, so that's not great. This seems to be seized. We have I think it's a stud sheared off. I don't mind it sheared off, but as long as it's not open and allowing water in, that wouldn't be great. That wouldn't be great. Okay, might put a little pin on him there to stop him that coming out, a little clip on the end of him. I had a roll bar on it, I took it off, so these are a bit loose, so I don't mind that. I'm going to tidy up the wires, so I'll do a better connection. We'll loosen off them bolts, we'll put rubber channel, them wires in rubber channel, we'll put them up behind, and we'll do a job on that, because a bit of muck or clay can eventually start dragging that and rubbing it and causing damage to it. So strange bolt that. What harm? Charging light is working. If he wants me to replace it with a nicer one, I can. The lights are all working. So that's good, but still having a look under the bonnet here, kind of, you know, there's a bit of work to be done on the wiring, I think, to make it safe. So that's not too bad, as in it's not dangerous, it's out of the way. So the edge of that could start to rub in there, so we might have a look about routing that somewhere else. The wires down to there are okay. I might just run a bit of masking tape over them, maybe a bicycle tube maybe around the whole lot and tape it, just to give it a bit more strength if they want to pull apart. Okay, so this is his little tank feeding the heater plug. I have an original one there. That'll bolt on there and there if he wants that. This is kind of using that to plug there. I think I have the proper bolt to do that if needs be. Okay, that's all good. And he did meal tuggy, as they say here, midges. Place for them if you ask me. Okay, so I don't personally like the feel of this on the first click, so I'm going to do a test on that. I have loads of new ones of them if needs be. As we worked out in the gold belly, they do wear out inside and you don't get full whack. That wouldn't be the best of an earth at all. I prefer to use one of them bolts down there. Stronger, it's better connection with the actual frame, the chassis and all that. I've never even tried these to see that they work. So that's not ideal because that's a positive feed. And if that was caught in there, the vibrations, it could easily cause a bit of a bother, and that's definitely a positive feed because it's going down there to the starter. So we'll have to do a bit of tidying of that, cut it shorter, route it in behind there out of the way. The horn is there, connections come off it. That could be dangerous if you pressed it. So I'll ask him about moving the horn up in under there, maybe take one of them bolts in there, have it out there out of the way. Auxiliary tank isn't there. Okay, so that's good. This clip will work as well. So if they aren't working, I can get them working. Usually just involves a bit of bending. So it's not doing a whole lot there. And then this one here isn't really doing a whole lot either, but it is catching it, so at least it's doing something. So these bonnets can fairly rattle. That's okay. That's something, isn't it? He said the clutch isn't great. Adjustment feels good. Say about 3/8 of an inch or 10 mil with a 10 mil bolt or nut under there. Loosen it off, tighten up. That's usually all it takes. That to me doesn't feel bad. And the pressure plate feels perfect. Perfect amount of resistance on it. Okay. This is definitely not standard, this plate. But if it does its thing, it's okay, but it's rubbing against the brake rod and it's going to make that hard to release. I'd say, so your brakes could be a little stuck on. So, I'd say it was put in to keep the battery lead from rubbing. That's okay, but I might just bend. I'll be taking this off anyway, so I'll bend that out of the way of the brake rod. Brake rod is way too much tension on it. We're going to have fun getting them out. We always do. I'm looking forward to that. So how are we under here? We have a leak from the injector spill off pipe, he said, so that's no water. One fuel filter instead of two. Okay, that's inert there. That's inert. That's not the best place for inert either. I prefer to take earth from one place. So I might get rid of that. I'll definitely get rid of it. I'll get rid of all them earths, put them up under there somewhere, out of the way. Throttle is a little, he said, all over the place. Might cut all these off. These were for wires, like that, and I have some sticky stuff remover there in the cabinet over there, and I might just polish whatever's left off. So that'll do that. Okay, so that's what we're looking at so far. So the next video hopefully will be me actually doing a bit of work.